What would you say about our foreign policy today? Please assess it for us.
Sure. Well, look, foreign policy exists to protect the American people, our sovereignty, our economic interests, and deter war and win one if we have to. It's a combination of what the State Department does and what the Pentagon does. Today, we are more vulnerable than at any point since the end of World War II. Our adversaries, Russia, China, what's going on in Iran and North Korea, all are in the process of acquiring the means of delivering nuclear weapons. Those kinds of things are frightening if you consider that's a major change from what it's been over the course of my lifetime.
And then you've got Joe Biden planning a trip to Saudi Arabia. I mean, he hasn't even been to the southern border, and yet, you know, he's going to go to Saudi Arabia after promising that he would make them a pariah. And the Saudis don't even want to answer the call because they're upset about the U.S. dealing with the Iranians on a new Iran deal.
Well, of course. And the reason why Biden is doing all these things is because of his disastrous decision coming into office, the first week in office, to basically shut down America's energy independence. The inflation that we're suffering right now, the kinds of catastrophic results of it, you can see every time you fill up your gas tank, and it's going to go up even more than it is right now. At one point, I think, Maria, we were talking about maybe it would hit $5 a gallon by the 4th of July. Well, I can tell you this. In Virginia, it's going to be over $5 a gallon before the 4th of July. So you were right about that. China is watching what this administration does very, very carefully. They know that this is a very weak president. Afghanistan proved that, if nothing else. What Putin knows and what Xi knows, and in fact, for a matter of fact, the supreme leader in Iran knows and North Korea knows, is Biden is a very, very weak leader. It's not just his cognitive disarray. He has a weak foreign policy. He has weak people around him. And, for example, he's going to Saudi Arabia to beg for an increase in Saudi crude production. All of this is the consequence of his banning fossil fuel and wedding himself to the, obviously, Chinese-made windmills and Chinese-made solar panels. What he ought to be doing when he goes to Saudi Arabia is to beg them to reinvigorate, if you will, the Abraham Accords and bring India aboard. Joe Biden is paying the price for eliminating U.S. energy independence. The Saudis aren't going to bail him out, and certainly the Iranians won't either. If you look at what's going on right now today in America, it is proof of what we wrote about in that book. This country is in a cataclysmic decline because we've driven God out of our lexicon. We've driven God out of the public spaces. We drove God in 1962. I was the last class, by the way, in high school in 1961 that could actually say the prayer in our public schools.
آنچه در مورد ما میگویند